back behind the whitewashed shed, Mama knelt where the daisies spread, hoe in hand, Bible by her knee. She'd talk to God while pulling weeds. Tomatoes climbed and roses bloomed, but faith grew tall in that afternoon. She'd hum a hymn and close her eyes, and I'd watch heaven touch the sky. Where the garden grew and so did grace, love had roots in that holy place. Each seed she sowed, she'd bow her head like she was planting prayers instead. It wasn't just the corn or lace, it was Jesus walking through that space where the garden grew, and so did grace. Daddy built the fence real strong, but the Lord kept her safe all along. She'd say, son, dirt can heal a soul, as she dusted off that mixing bowl. By the well we carved a cross for every burden that we lost, and every flower that would rise felt like a piece of paradise. Where the garden grew and so did grace, love had roots in that holy place. Each seed she sowed, she'd bow her head like she was planting prayers instead. It wasn't just the corn or lace, it was Jesus walking through that space where the garden grew, and so did grace. Now till the ground where she once prayed, same old soil, same old spade. And when the robins start to sing, I feel her faith in everything. Where the garden grew and so did grace, time stood still in that sacred place. Her apron's gone, her hat's long frayed, but her spirit never fades away. And every rose still shows her face where the garden grew, and so did grace. Sun comes up through the barnyard haze, the same old light on the same old days. I sip my coffee on the front porch rail, watch the rooster crow down the dusty trail. He struts real proud like he owns the land, but when he calls, it's by a higher hand. I smile and think as I hear that cry, even that rooster's preaching to the sky. Even the rooster knows his name, calls it out with no hint of shame. At the break of dawn, at heaven's cue, he sings his song like we all should do. No robes, no book, no polished fame, but even the rooster knows his name. There's a reverence in the fields at morn, in every leaf and ear of corn. The cows rise slow, the air feels clean, like the Lord just passed through the gate unseen. That rooster crows not once but three, reminds me of old Peter and of me. How we fall, then grace pulls through. That bird knows what I ought to do. Even the rooster knows his name, calls it loud through the wind and rain. Doesn't need a stage or church house bell, he's got a voice and he uses it well. No need for fortune, no need for fame. Even the rooster knows his name. And if a bird with feathers and straw for a bed can lift his praise without bowing his head, then surely I, with this life I've been lent, can rise and sing with full intent. Even the rooster knows his name. From the hen house roof, he makes it plain. With every crow he bears the flame of a morning song and a holy name. Yes, even the rooster knows his name. So I'll rise tomorrow, do the same, lift my voice like that rooster's claim. No matter the storm, no matter the shame, even the rooster knows his name. Just another Tuesday, nothing fancy going on. Old feed store porch where the regulars belong. I was sipping black coffee from a paper cup, feeling worn and weary, just about had enough. He wore an old ball cap, boots caked with dirt, a wrinkled flannel shirt, and a look that didn't hurt. He sat down slow, said, "You look kinda low." Then he smiled like someone I used to know. He sat with me at the feed store, didn't preach, didn't judge, nothing more. Just talked about life and loss and grace, how God shows up in the strangest place, between sacks of grain and a screen door. He sat with me at the feed store. We talked about tractors, storms, and prayers. He said, "Son, the Lord's even in that broken chair." I laughed through tears I didn't know I had. He nodded slow, like he understood my dad. No choir, no steeple, no fancy hymn, but somehow I felt clean again in that feed store, dust and daylight soft. He reminded me that I'm not lost. He sat with me at the feed store, in the stillness of that old wood floor, and grace came down like a whispering breeze, right between the dog food and chicken feed. I swear I felt heaven open its door. He sat with me at the feed store. Next time I go back and I take that seat, I'll leave one open in case we meet, 'cause angels don't always have wings to soar. Sometimes they sit at the feed store. Dishes clink, the chairs get pushed, the kitchen hums in evening hush. Kids are gone, the table's cleared, and all that's left is silence here. The window shows a fading sky, a stillness that I can't deny. No thunder voice, no burning bush, just peace that settles like a hush. He's in the quiet after supper's done, in the fading glow of the setting sun, not in the noise, not in the crowd, but in the stillness, soft and proud. He speaks with calm, not trumpet or drum. He's in the quiet after supper's done. I wipe the table, close the blinds, leave today worries weighed all behind. The cat curls up, the kettle sings, and I hear the flap of angel wings. You don't need pews or polished floors. He walks between these creaky doors, and in the hush I hear him near. In every breath he's crystal clear. He's in the quiet after supper's done, in the simple peace when the day is run, not in the rush or thunder loud, but in the stillness without a crowd. He's close enough to call me son. He's in the quiet after supper's done. So when the table's cleared and calm has grown, I know I'm never quite alone. He sits with me till the stars have come. He's in the quiet after supper's done. The porch is still set for the breeze, rocking chair and memories. Sunset slow behind the pines, and peace rolls in with a hush of time. There's a whisper floating through the air, like a prayer still hanging there. In the hush between the sighs of day, I hear the chimes begin to play. The wind chimes sing him home again, like an old hymn on the softest wind. No preacher's shout, no church house bell, just heaven's voice where silence fell. And I know he's near, I'm not alone. When the wind chimes sing him home. Mama used to hum that song when the nights felt cold and long. She said, child, God don't need to knock. Sometimes he speaks through sounds that rock. I don't see him, but I feel the grace in every breeze that finds this place. He walks these boards and sits a spell, and those chimes, they know him well. The wind chimes sing him home again, softest wind. No preacher shout, no church house bell, just heaven's voice where silence fell. And I know he's near, I'm not alone. When the wind chimes sing him home. So when you hear them gently ring, let your soul rise up and sing. It's just the Lord passing through the loam. The wind chimes sing him home. It was an old Ford 85 with rust along the side, held together by prayers and farmer's pride. We'd pile in the back when the work was done, dust on our boots, chasing the sun. Mama packed lunch in an old tin pail. Daddy read a verse from a page turned pale. We'd bow our heads for the engine roared, found a little church between the fence and ford. There was grace in the back of the pickup truck, underneath the stars and a little bit of luck. We didn't need pews or stained glass light, just a tailgate seat and the pale moonlight. Faith was simple and love was enough. Yeah, there was grace in the back of that pickup truck. Summer nights with the crickets and frogs, Grandpa humming hymns through a cloud of smog. That old radio played a gospel tune, and mercy fell like a country moon. We didn't have a steeple, didn't wear no suits, just hearts wide open and muddy boots. But heaven touched down on the gravel and dust, where we shared our hearts and learned to trust. There was grace in the back of the pickup truck, by the firelight glow and a worn out luck. Didn't need much to feel God near, just a patch of sky and folks held dear. Yeah, salvation found us rough and tough. There was grace in the back of that pickup truck. Now I ride with my boy down those same old roads, telling him the stories that never grow old. We stop and pray neath the stars above, 'cause there's still grace in that truck and endless love. Out where the
gravel meets the pines, and Sunday bells don't always chime. They cleared the land with blistered hands and hearts too poor for marble stands. No stained glass ship from fancy towns, just window panes they salvaged down. The steeple rose like whispered tales. They built that church with hope and nails. They built that church with hope and nails, with calloused palms and heaven's trails. Every board was laid with prayer, every hymn first echoed there. No riches bought that holy place, just love and lumber, strength and grace. Where dust and faith still intertwine, they built that church one plank at a time. Mama baked for the men who came, and Daddy carved a cross from flame. Kids held lanterns past midnight, while Grandpa sang by candlelight. They didn't build it just for show, they built it so their kids would know that even small hands can prevail when you've got hope and a box of nails. They built that church with hope and nails, with psalms inside their hammers' trails. No blueprints drawn, just hearts aligned, and Jesus there in every line. The roof may leak, the pews may creak, but holy ground is what we seek. And grace still flows like springtime trails from that old church built with hope and nails. Now it leans a bit in winter's wind, but souls still gather there again. And when I walk those wooden aisles, I hear their hammers in the miles. They built that church with hope and nails, with songs of faith and rugged tales. It ain't the gold that makes it shine, it's every tear and sacred line. The stories carved in every beam still hold a sinner's wildest dream. And I still feel the veil is thin, where hope and nails once built within. Yeah, they built that church with hope and nails, and left the door wide open still. Rafters creaked with memories and hay, and echoes of sermons from back in the day. Daddy didn't preach much with words out loud, but he showed me grace when I let him down. I broke a fence, I lied that fall. He found the truth, but he didn't bawl. Just handed me a hammer and a stack of nails. Said we fix what we break, and mercy never fails. I learned forgiveness in my father's barn, in the smell of sweat and the dust on his arm. He taught me Jesus not by verse, but by heart, by mending broken things and giving a fresh start. No stained glass, just love in that weathered charm. Yeah, I learned forgiveness in my father's barn. We mended more than fences that day, passed me truth in an old-fashioned way. With every board and every quiet nod, I heard the gospel clearer than from any man of God. He said, son, we all fall short sometimes, but grace is in the lifting, not just the lines. And when I knelt beside that bales of hay, I whispered, Lord, make me more like him someday. I learned forgiveness in my Father's barn, with sunlight leaking through the planks so warm. He didn't raise his voice, just raised my soul, with a look that said, you're still whole. That old place taught me more than a Sunday song. Yes, I learned forgiveness in my Father's barn. And now my boy stands where I once stood, hands full of mistakes and heart full of good. And I'll pass it on with these callous palms, 'cause I learned forgiveness in my Father's barn. There's a dirt path where the pavement ends, two ways to go, but one that mends. Tucked between the corn and pine stands a chapel lost to time. Paint is chipped and steeple leans, but oh, the grace that place still brings. That little white church at the fork in the road held more heaven than gold ever showed. Wooden pews and a cross handmade, where sinners knelt and chilled and prayed. I found my soul and dropped my load at that little white church at the fork in the road. Mom would sing in the second row, Daddy'd nod when the Spirit'd flow. Preacher never needed a microphone, his voice could shake the cornerstone. Potlucks after hugs and tears, it carried us through all our years. That little white church at the fork in the road, where lost hearts found a lighter load. No stained glass, no velvet robe, just country hands and gospel hope. I still return when the winds blow to that little white church at the fork in the road. I've seen cities rise and good men fall, but that old church still stands tall. And when I'm torn, unsure which way, I hear those hymns that always say, come home to the church at the fork in the road, where mercy poured and love still flowed. Though the doors may creak, the bell still rings, and grace still live in simple things. If I go nowhere else, Lord, let me go to that little white church at the fork in the road. It sat on the shelf by Grandma's old chair, leather all faded, pages worn bare. Haven't heard it open in quite a few years, but it still holds the echoes of joyful tears. She'd hum Amazing Grace with her eyes closed tight as the evening sun spilled that golden light. That hymn book saw hands both strong and frail. Now the dust on that cover tells a quiet tale. The dust on that hymn book tells a tale of prayers whispered low and faith that never failed, of callous fingers turning to Psalm 23, of a house full of music and sweet harmony. Yeah, it's more than a book, it's a holy trail. The dust on that hymn book tells a tale. It's been to funerals, weddings, and storms, cradled in arms, tired and warm. I once found a flower pressed between the lines beside how great thou art in fading signs. Now I sing alone on this creaking floor, but her voice still floats through that screen door. I dust it off slow with a trembling hand and sing those old songs just like we planned. 'Cause the dust on that hymn book tells a tale of a love so fierce and a grace that prevailed, of hands that clung tight through sorrow and song, of a faith that held steady, steady and strong. It's more than a book, it's a sacred veil. The dust on that hymn book tells a tale. So don't mind the dust, let the stories remain, of voices that rose in sun and in rain. That old hymn book still sings without fail. The dust on that hymn book tells a tale. I remember fields of clover, morning dew beneath our feet. Hand in hand we faced the sunrise. Every step felt so complete. Through the trials, through the tears, God was near. Through all the years,
The path we walk together still shines beneath His light. Through the valleys and the shadows, His love made wrong things right. Though the seasons change forever, one truth will not depart. The path we walk together still lives within my heart. I can hear your laughter linger like a hymn upon the breeze. Even now when I grow weary, faith still brings me to my knees. Love was written in the skies by the mercy in His eyes. The path we walk together still shines beneath His light. Through the valleys and the shadows, His love made wrong things right. Though the seasons change forever, one truth will not depart. The path we walk together still lives within my heart. And when I reach the final mile, I know you'll be there too. Heaven's gates will open wide, and I'll walk again with you. The path we walk together still shines beneath His light. Through the valleys and the shadows, His love made wrong things right. Though my journey finds its end, in His arms we'll meet again. The path we walk together leads me safely home. In the stillness of the evening, I can hear those voices rise from the chapel down the valley. hymns still linger in the skies. Every note reminds my soul of the love that made me whole. Echoes of praise, they carry me through. Songs of redemption forever ring true. From the mountains to the plains, through the joy and through the pain, my heart still hears the echoes of praise. Mama's voice was sweet and steady. Daddy's hands were warm with time. But together they sang glory, every word a holy sign. Though the years have passed away, I still hear them when I pray. Praise, they carry me through. Songs of redemption forever ring true. From the mountains to the plains, through the joy and through the pain, my heart still hears the echoes of I still discern. Echoes of praise, they carry me through. Songs of redemption forever ring true. Till I reach those heaven gates and behold my Savior's face, I will live in the echoes of praise. I remember Sunday mornings, sunlight on the floor. Mama's voice was gentle, singing hymns I can't ignore. The old piano playing softly, Grandpa tapping time. Every note a lesson, every word a rhyme. Hymns that build my soul, lifting me above, filled with faith and mercy, wrapped in endless love. Through the trials and the tears, through the joy and the goal, I carry every blessing of the hymns that build my soul. evening shadows falling, yet the songs remain, guiding me through heartache, through the struggle and the pain. Every verse a memory, every chorus a prayer. I feel His Spirit moving, always gently there. Hymns that build my soul, lifting me above, filled with faith and mercy, wrapped in endless love. Through the trials and the tears, through the joy and the goal, I carry every blessing of the hymns that build my soul. Time may change the seasons, but His love will not fade. Every hymn I've learned still shines through the shade. Hymns that build my soul, lifting me above, filled with faith and mercy, wrapped in endless love. Through the trials and the tears, through the joy and the goal, I carry every blessing of the hymns that build my soul. Yes, I carry every blessing of the hymns that build my soul. The sun sets slow on this old front yard. Creak of the swing sings a hymn to my heart. Bible in my lap, coffee in my hand, talking to Jesus about the state of this land. Porch swing prayers rising in the night, whispers to heaven in the soft moonlight. Every worry I've carried, every joy I've shared, finds its way upward in these porch swing prayers. I hear the crickets and the old hound song, reminds me the Lord's been with me all along. From broken days to blessings untold, His mercy's the anchor that never grows old. Porch swing prayers rising in the night, whispers to heaven in the soft moonlight. Every worry I've carried, every joy I've shared, finds its way upward in these porch swing prayers. The chains of the world can't hold me down. Grace lifts me higher than this small town. And when my time comes, I'll still be there, swinging with Jesus in eternal prayer. Porch swing prayers rising in the night, whispers to heaven in the soft moonlight. Every tear, every song, every hope I've declared forever lives on in these porch swing prayers. Yeah, I'm talking to Jesus on this old swing chair, sending up love with my porch swing prayers. I remember evenings on the porch, Daddy strumming that old guitar. Every note was like a prayer, every word came from his scars. He sang of mercy, sang of grace, of the Savior's arms, a warm embrace. Songs from my Father's heart still echo in my soul, guiding me when I'm lost, pointing me back home through the storms and trials of life. His face still lights the dark. I walk with Jesus every day, through songs from my Father's heart. His hands were rough, his work was hard, but his spirit's soft and kind. He'd sing of heaven late at night and leave the world behind. Now when my burdens feel too great, I hear his voice remind me way. Songs from my Father's heart still echo in my soul, guiding me when I'm lost, pointing me back home through the storms and trials of life. His face still lights the dark. I walk with Jesus every day, through songs from my Father's heart. Now I sing those same old hymns to my children by the fire, praying they will carry on the faith that won't expire. Songs from my Father's heart still echo in my soul. Grace and truth, they never fade. They're the anchor that I hold. And when I stand at heaven's gates, I know we'll never part. We'll sing forever, face to face. Songs from my Father's heart. I see Mama smile in the morning light, Daddy's old prayers by the fire at night. Those simple days carved in time's embrace, sweet memories lead me to sweeter grace. Sweet memories, sweeter grace. Through every trial I found my place. From the cross to the crown, His love won't erase. Sweet memories, sweeter grace. Sunday bells rang from the chapel door, voices of faith I can't ignore. Though the years have flown, I still retrace every step toward His sweeter grace. Sweet memories, sweeter grace. Through every trial I found my place. From the cross to the crown, His love won't erase. Sweet memories, sweeter grace. Now these silver lines in my hair, they show the roads I've wandered, the seeds I've sown. But His mercy shines in this heart of mine, sweeter than the sweetest memory in time. Sweet memories, sweeter grace. Through every trial I found my place. When He calls me home to that holy space, I'll carry sweet memories and sweeter grace. Yes, I'll carry sweet memories and sweeter grace. The pages are worn, the edges are torn, but these old songs still carry me home. Mama once sang by candlelight, now they lift my soul in the darkest night. The hymn book in my hands, a treasure from above. Every line of mercy, every word of love. Through the trials and the miles, His truth still stands, guiding me with the hymn book in my hands. I hear the choir from that little town, voices of the faithful still echo around. Rock of Ages and amazing grace still bring tears The sky was black, the wind was howling, lightning split the midnight air. My soul was lost, my heart was broken. I cried out, Lord, are you out there? Then through the roar, I heard him whisper, a gentle voice above the rain. He said, child, you are not forgotten. I've been here through your pain. I met him in a thunderstorm where the heavens shook and the night was torn. Through the lightning, through the rain, he reached down and called my name. I was weak, but he made me strong. I met him in a thunderstorm. The river rose, my fear was heavy. Every shadow felt like night. But in the storm, his hand was steady, and his love became my light. Now every trial, I see his mercy. Every storm just clears the way for the sun to rise and shine eternal, for his grace to guide my day. I met him in a thunderstorm where the heavens shook and the night was torn. Through the lightning, through the rain, he reached down and called my name. I was weak, but he made me strong. I met him in a thunderstorm. Sometimes he comes in quiet places, sometimes he shakes the earth with power. But when he moves, I see his glory. Even in the darkest hour, I met him in a thunderstorm where the heavens shook and the night was torn. Through the lightning, through the rain, he reached down and called my name. Now I'll praise him my whole life long. I met him in a thunderstorm. I met him in a thunderstorm.